A family in central Vermont is looking back on the memories of their beloved daughter, friend, and cousin who tragically died after being injured in a house fire more than a week ago. Tonight, 18-year-old Adeline Phoenix's family is sharing those stories with us as they work to carry on her memory. ABC 22's Matt Holderman joins us now live in the studio with a story you will only see here on ABC.
Thank you, Lauren. Well, understandably, Adeline's parents told me they had to seriously think about whether they wanted to do these interviews with me today, but they said ultimately they want all of you to know just how special their daughter was and how many lives she touched in such a short period of time.
It's been kind of a nightmare that we're not waking up from.
A thoughtful, loving young woman, a straight-A student, an aspiring artist, and a laugh that could light up a room. These are just a few ways the Phoenix and Brant families would describe their beloved Adeline, who was ripped away from their lives far too soon by a house fire investigators believe was accidental.
She had a big heart. She was very loving.
She cared about everybody and wanted everybody to be happy.
Now just over 1 week since Adeline's passing, her loved ones are doing the best they can to honor her the way she would like it, by spending time together and making paintings of some of her favorite things to put beside her coffin.
We let her draw on the walls and the ceilings, and so her whole room was just one big collage of, she just like covered the whole thing and paintings, and then covered them again with paintings. And
when thinking back on their favorite memories of Adeline, many of her family members recall her generosity, which at times seemed to come for no reason other than by the goodness of her heart.
So I go to another room, she comes in, and then she's like, "Come here." And I walk in, and my bed is covered with a bunch of gifts that she picked up in town. It was just a random night, and so that's how she was.
One thing I always said was I felt like there wasn't enough of me, that I didn't have enough time to do everything. And she bought me a ring that's engraved, "You are enough," and gave it to me for no particular reason except
just because.
But quite possibly the most generous of her unexpected gifts stems from a decision she made just a month and a half ago when Adeline made the choice to be an organ donor. Because of that decision, her family says multiple other people's lives have already been saved, including a girl even younger than her.
Saved a six-year-old girl.
Do you want me to pull it up?
A 20-year-old female.
Just always wanted to make things special for people.
And one member of the family has set up a GoFundMe for Daniel and Julie, as again, they not only lost Adeline, but they also lost their house here. I will have a link to that donation page inside of this story later tonight on our website, mychamplainvalley.com. I will also have more coming up on this story at 7. For now, reporting live in the studio, Matt Holderman, ABC 22 News.